Battle of the Network shows. Join Rick Brooks and Mike Kogel as they explore the TV of the 70s and 80s through hand-picked episodes of their favorite and not-so-favorite series.
Welcome to another Battle of the Network shows bonus episode, and a recent bonus episode we talked about various reboots and remakes and whatever going on with the TV, and we're going to kind of follow up. I watched the first episode of the Magnum P.I. remake, and
Yes, against our best efforts, they went ahead and did this, so
right.
Nothing we can do about it, it's there.
Yeah, so Rick did not watch it. He might watch it later. He's going to ask me a few questions and get my impressions.
I'm a little curious as to what your thoughts on it. And if you'll recall, we did Magnum P.I. way back on the show. Yeah. And Mike was always more of a big Magnum P.I. watcher than I was. And it's something I kind of discovered later. And I enjoy the show, but I'm not really one to be making comparisons to the original. You're much better at that, Mike. I mean, I can make it. Yeah. I probably will at some point, yeah. But I might even do it now, haven't seen the newer one.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm curious about some things, and I guess the first thing I would ask is, does it have a mustache?
No, I take that back. Magnum does not have a mustache. A supporting character does, and Magnum has like a scruffy goatee. The Rick character also has a scruffy goatee. The TC character also has some facial hair.
Well,
the mustache is the Buck Green character who Lance Legault played originally. James Remar from Black Lightning and many other things plays him, and he has a good military mustache.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, but so far no mustache.
Does it have Roger Mosley?
No.
Okay. Does it have Aaron Gray?
No.
Okay, well that's 3 strikes for me, but
yeah. Yet
I'll be willing to keep an open mind. So what were your general impressions? You've watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And so what do you think?
Better than I expected it to be. I think generally so Jay Hernandez plays Magnum. Mm-hmm. I don't know his work. I know he was in the football show.
Which Friday Night Lights?
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I think he was in that Crazy Beautiful with
okay, he is that guy. I think
that was his big breakthrough role, if I recall correctly.
He was in Suicide Squad, Ladder 49. So he's well known, or fairly well known. It turns out he's like 40. So
wow.
I was worried it was all going to be younged up,
Yeah.
But all the male characters are around that age.
I will say that's not often. I totally agree with you, but it's not often a concern with CBS that a show will be younged up.
That's true.
That's one thing we don't always have to worry about with them.
Yeah, and he was pretty good. I mean, he's fairly charming, and they are sticking to elements of him having the main elements of this military background, and somehow all of them were POWs in Afghanistan or Iraq, which haven't really been a lot of POWs that I'm aware of, but that's fine.
Right.
That's consistent with the show, and his dad and I assume won't be played by Robert Pine, but it could be. I don't know. They haven't explained, like, he is Latino in the show, but his name is still Thomas Sullivan Magnum. So one of his parents is probably not Latino, but I don't know. They didn't really get into that. He made a joke, though, at some point about sharks liking white meat. And he seems to have a little bit of the other part, that darker part that he might be able to play that too. And the other guys they were fine. They didn't really do much for me either way. The TC character wasn't in it much. I know if he gets in a fist fight, it'll be cool because that guy's huge. They're more explicit about the Rick character being, having underworld ties like right away. Like the show was kind of vague about that sometimes, and that being why his thing that he's a fixer or a connection guy. Okay. He does run some club, not the King Kamehameha Club, but the hottest club in Hawaii, that was disappointing because they showed it briefly and it was MTV Beach Party kind of stuff, And then there's the I mentioned before the issue. Higgins is a woman, and I'm still on the fence about that. The actress is fine; she did a good job, and the relationship is essentially the same Although they seem to be moving the begrudging sort of admiration thing a lot faster. There are a number of things where she's observing him, and you can read it as, oh, he's not the idiot that I thought he was.
Yeah.
But it's the first episode. It seems a little fast to me. And I don't think they were playing any sort of sexual tension, but they might have been. There was one scene where she was doing yoga. Mm-hmm. Seemed a little weird. But not that she was doing yoga. I mean, Higgins did Tai Chi. And then she helps out. She is MI6. And the kind of the connection, the way they deal with the Robin Masters thing is that he was a reporter, embedded reporter, and knew these guys. I think they saved his life or something. Okay. So he feels like he owes them, and they're characters in his novel.
Okay.
Or his novels.
And it's set in Hawaii?
Yeah, set in Hawaii.
And they doing some shooting, like Hawaii shooting, it looks like?
I think it's all shot there.
Some
like
location?
Hawaii Five-0, yeah. It had that element. I didn't love the look of it. It was a little too, now. Yeah. And Justin Lin directed the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Right, he's the
Fast and Furious guy, right?
He did the paintball episodes of Community. Well, he did at least one of them, Modern Warfare, the first one, and a couple other episodes the first season. But surprisingly, there were only a couple scenes that were like big action pieces, and they were a little bit ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, and a little CGI and kind of just not great. Its name, the same title is the same as the pilot of the original. And there's a credit for based on the teleplay by Donald Belisario and Glenn Larson or whatever, but it didn't seem to have anything to do with that, other than sort of something from their past coming, but not really. But, they established the world. They established the relationships. And like I said, from seeing the teaser, they definitely have got the friendship part of it down, I think. That these guys are friends, and that's the main draw of the appeal. Mm-hmm. So I was okay with that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the bottom line is, will you be watching it next? Will you be watching more episodes of this?
Maybe. I feel like it was more like, well, if that was on and I saw it on, I might watch it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I'm going to record it.
Well, that kind of makes me wonder.
But it's just partly because I have the DVD set of the original sitting here, and I really need to go rewatch those.
Yeah, that's true. But it's aspiring to be something. And I don't mean this as an insult, but it sounds like it's aspiring to be something more like the original Magnum P.I., whereas much of quote-unquote prestige television today is aspiring for something different.
Yeah.
So, is this the kind of show that can stand out today? Maybe, I guess you know what I'm saying? It's like these days there's so much other TV on that it's hard for something like more of a procedural, more of maybe a less intense show to stand out, I would think. Which is probably why they're taking advantage of the brand name of Magnum. So
right, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it would stand out, but it's also on CBS. So yeah, that's kind of their bread and butter.
Yeah, well, it's the thing. Like
successful procedural shows that don't stand out in the.
Yeah, this is an impossible question to answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If something like the original Magnum P.I. was on today, would you be watching it?
Maybe. Well, example, I'm watching The Good Cop on Netflix.
Okay.
Which is very much in that sort of lighter mode. Mm-hmm. Although I didn't watch any when that was sort of USA's mode.
Right.
I didn't really watch those shows.
Yeah.
So it's possible. I bet I would have to hear kind of word of mouth about it or something.
Maybe if it was on something that you paid for, you'd be more inclined to watch it. Where if it's on a broadcast network like CBS, if you saw this premise. And saw the details, but it was not called Magnum P.I.
Right.
Would you have watched this CBS
not,
show?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You might have thought, oh, it sounds a little bit like Magnum.
Yeah.
But it's not Magnum, so would you have felt the need to give it a shot? Maybe not, right?
Probably not, and because of what I've seen of sort of NCIS and Criminal Minds and things, they just don't appeal to me very much. Mm-hmm. And maybe because they are more procedural. I think the nice, if they stick to it, is, of course, as we talked about before, Magnum, there's a lot of character to it. It's not just about the cases, but it's about him and his friends. If they can keep that going, that would work. I'm not offended by it. I guess that's my point. And it could last a long time. If it does, God bless it.
Yeah, well, the Hawaii Five-0 new version has been on, 6 years already or something like that? So
yeah, and I don't know if that new SWAT got a second season, but so I don't know. The last show I can think of, I watched Castle for a little bit. That's probably in that same territory. So that was a new idea, but that was more like, oh, I like this actor, so I'm going to give that a shot. Like that Terriers was kind of, I mean, it was sort of prestige, but it was definitely had elements of Rockford Files and Magnum and things in it. Like if they brought that back, I'd watch that again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Love that. I hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I would say one thing to the listeners, our Facebook page and our group would be a good place to discuss this. If you've seen it, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll try to give it a shot. And when this comes out, maybe chime in with some of my thoughts. Yeah.
They have a new version of the theme song. My big complaint there is that it's very condensed. So they have opening credits, but it's 40 seconds or something.
Oh, that's terrible.
And so it's a little jarring because it's jumping from the different pieces of the song.
Well, that's one of the big flaws of television today is that they don't have the good 2-minute opening sequences that we enjoyed so much.
Yeah, it definitely kept a lot of things, and the Navy part of it, and the voiceover, and I think he has a kayak instead of that surf ski thing. But,
okay.
And Robin's Nest is a different house, but it is on the beach, and it's Hawaii. Hawaii looks great, of course.
Yeah, well, it's got some elements. Maybe it could very well stick around a while.
Yeah, you know what? I hope it does.
Yeah. Well, it's
if people enjoy it, I think no problem with that.
Yeah. However, I mean, I find myself thinking that, I want to give it a shot, but really what I want to do is kind of go back and watch some of the old Magnums.
Yeah.
I kind of wish those were more available.
More readily, yeah. Yeah, that's more what I want to do.
Yeah.
But
it's understandable.
I'm glad it wasn't terrible.
Oh, that's good.
No need to ruin.
Yeah.
Not that it would ruin Magnum, but no need to do a terrible version of it.
Right. No, I don't think so. Well, one more thing that I like from my Magnum. Did they have any references to 8-track cassettes of Styx and REO Speedwagon in Magnum's collection?
No, we didn't get a good idea of his music collection.
Okay. Well, that's I'll save some hope for future episodes then.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get that kind of glimpse.
Right. So he's 40 now, so it's possible.
Yeah, okay.
He's still, I would hope, like Nirvana would be there before some contemporary band.
Yeah, I guess I would settle for some cassette tapes maybe.
Yeah.
If not 8 tracks. 8
right.
tracks might be pushing it.
Yeah, he might just have an iPod.
Yeah.
They're on his phone.
Yeah, probably.
But
okay.
All right.
Join us next time for another exciting episode of Battle of the Network shows. Learn more, leave feedback, and suggest future episodes at battleofthenetworkshows.com. Follow us on Twitter at BatNetShows and like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Battle of the Network Shows.